Hi. Okay, now I'm going to talk about something that I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people respond to. So I'm going to say this. It's okay if you do not believe me. I hope that you do. But if you don't, the Lord just always tells me, speak about what's on my heart. Speak about what I know. And these videos from day one, they're for specific people. They're not for everybody. So if people, there's going to be people that come in and watch, okay, that they're not for. They're not for you. If you don't understand or you don't agree, it's okay. It's really, really okay. The Lord told me from day one that I started doing this is for people that He has called, that have followed His breadcrumbs, that has led them here. That whatever I speak about, they will get, like I'm talking, it's Him talking to them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the Holy Spirit, because that's what totally guides me. Is the Holy Spirit. I never know what I'm going to talk about. And then I will say this. I will have email after email after email saying, do you have a camera in my house? How did you know to talk about that? How did you know what I'm dealing with right now? I don't, but He does. I never know. He just says, talk from your heart. And when they see you, they'll see me. They'll know. When they hear you, they'll hear me, because they know what's between them and them and I, him and you and him. Okay, I don't, but He does. And whatever I talk about will be for those people. One, two, multiple. I don't know. But this, I will tell you this. This is exactly how this has gone from day one. If you only knew the emails, and the craziest thing is, it's multiple ones, and everybody thinks, how do you know to talk about that? How do you know to talk about that right now? I don't. He does. You know how the Holy Spirit works. He just lays it up on your heart. He does. I'm telling you what. I'm a common sense person. I am the least crazy person you've ever met in your life. I really am. I've gone through some crazy things, but I'm not crazy. But I've had this extraordinary teaching for the past 16 months. I have. Followed the breadcrumbs. I told you have to pray for divine wisdom, divine understanding, divine knowledge, divine sight, divine hearing. Ones who don't understand, who will never understand, who know God's word. Yes, they love Him. They know His words. Oh, they've got scripture memorized. Oops, they can just spew anything and everything out. But they don't ever get anything more than that. They never understand any new teaching. They never understand anything prophetic. They just don't get it. And He says, I've not allowed it in there. I've not allowed it. Because all they've ever prayed for, all they've ever asked for is my word. Nothing more. You understand what I'm saying? He goes, I give them what they've asked me to give them. And so if someone just asks me for my word, oh, I give it, sure. That's all I give them. Understand? Telling you. So there are going to be people that's come in here who don't get it, who don't understand it. That's okay. They're not for you. They're not for you. All right? He always tells me, talk about what I know. Share. This is what I know, and this is what He has me talk about. All right? Now, again, what time are we in? If you're watching this and you don't believe in God, or you don't know that we're at the end, and you just want to leave a comment to say, well, you can go ahead, but I'm telling you what, it just don't even faze me. It really doesn't, because I know who these are for, and they're not for you. Again, too, anybody that is watching these videos that say they don't believe in the Lord, or they say, well, show me where, or prove to me where, you're searching. So you can say all you want that you don't believe, you don't believe there's a God, and you can go ahead and leave whatever remarks, but for the pure fact that you're watching videos, obviously, um, you know, talking about the Bible and Jesus and the Father in heaven, you're searching for something. So I don't believe that you don't believe. I don't believe it for 1 minute. I don't believe it for 1 minute. You know what it is? You're looking for him. You're searching for him, and you want him. But you know, from whatever you've been through or gone through, you just can't hardly believe that what you've been allowed to go through, a God would allow it. Okay, so therefore he must not be real. And what you don't understand is all the ones that he loves that are dear to his heart go through trial after trial after trial, test after test after test. Their life is not easy. He's put them through things to experience it, okay? Not to hurt them, not to harm them, and not because he doesn't love them. It's because he does love them. And he's had to refine you. Do you understand? He's had to refine your vessel. Everything that he's put you through is for a reason. You're going to use it. He's going to use you big time. He's going to use you. And you're fighting something. You're fighting it. Oh, you're fighting it. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to just negative, because you can't understand. You can't understand why you don't have what everybody else has. Okay? So it's hurt coming out. It's hurt. So you're going to leave hurtful comments and hurtful things because you don't understand it, because you want it. How come I don't understand that? How come I can't see that? How come I can't take my pain, I can't take my experiences, because I don't understand why this has happened to me in my life from even a small child on. You know, you can't understand why all these things were placed in your life or why you were placed in that life. You don't understand it. So, and because of your not understanding it, you're hurt, or you're mad, or you're angry. Okay? And so you're going to leave all this stuff. But you're searching because you want to, because you want to have it. You want to have it. You want what they got. You want to understand that. You want that good feeling. You want that Holy Spirit. You want that peace. That's what you want. You want peace. You know, you want to have hope. You do. You want to have hope. But you're not letting yourself have it. You're not letting yourself have it because you don't want to get hurt. You're self-preserving, see? You're self-preserving. And if you have hope in something, that hope, and you just can't take the chance. Well, what about if it's not? You can't take that chance of being hurt again, taking you back to that place again, or making you feel like that again, however that bad place was. Do you understand? Does that make sense? Because if you're watching videos that have to do with God, you know, the Bible, any part of that, okay, prophecy, anything, and you're trying to, you know, make people prove you wrong, okay, because you're looking for proof, but it's faith. You have to have faith. First of all, you have to have faith, and by all these people, I mean, there's tons of them. They're searching. So if you're watching these videos, you're searching. So I don't believe for 1 minute. I don't believe for 1 minute that you don't believe in God, because you do. You just want somebody to prove it to you. You want somebody to prove it to you. You want somebody to say, this is why this happened to you. This is why. This happened to you because. This happened to you because. And this happened to you because. That's what you're looking for. And you're not getting it. You will get it, but you're not. Okay? And you know, you're got to start somewhere. Got to start somewhere. It's faith. You know, you got to go to God himself. That's why he's waiting for you. He's waiting for you to call on him. He's waiting for you to call on him. So, but by proving, you know, and writing things to the people who do have faith and do have understanding, I don't know. Again, it's a statement to me of why can't I see that? Why can't I see that? And it's a statement to me of, well, no, because if there's a God, I wouldn't have had to live this life that I've led. I would not have to go through these things if there's a God, because no good God would surely put me through that. I understand that. I understand that. And what you don't understand is, what you have to worry when you don't go through those. That's when you got to worry. So, ones that's gone through the fire, okay, really, ones that's gone through the fire and gone through just turbulence their entire life, I see complete love. And that's what you can't see. He's refining your vessel because he's got a lot he's going to let you carry. He's got something huge for you. Huge. And he had to do that to make you strong, to make your vessel, you know, crack-proof, unbreakable, really unbreakable. And you know, he's got to empty you, you know, so you can carry whatever it is he's got planned for you. That's what I see. So, then again, there are going to be the ones just raw evil, just raw evil, and can't even stand the name of God. I mean, it just makes their skin crawl. There are those, you know that no matter what you will ever say in their lifetime, and no matter what anyone has ever said to them in their lifetime, they almost want to vomit at the word of God. When anybody even says his name, they just their skin just wants to fall off. Got to worry about them, because that's it. That's a bad blood. It's a really bad blood. Okay? And they're out there. Think they're not, as they are. There's some just evil. And they can't. The name of God just makes them go, whoa. They're there too. They're there too. And they're just doing what comes natural to them. But I see so many other ones. The majority, what I see, is people searching. And they leave negative comments because they don't understand. But they're not going to say they don't understand. They're going to act like they know it all. They're going to write and act like they just know it all. Okay? And there's no God. Well, what that just tells me is you just don't understand why he's put you through what you've gone through. Okay? And you think you're not loved. You think he doesn't love you. And that because no good God would do that. Well, got something special, very special for you. And it saddens me that you don't understand that. And I hope that you do. I really do. You have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. Okay? What is it going to hurt you? What is it going to hurt you to learn? What is it going to hurt you to go to him and ask for that? And right now, I'm telling you now, his ears are open. And this is the time that he's calling. He's calling everybody in. He's calling especially the ones who say they don't believe him, but yet are searching for him. And you know who you are. You know who you are. So, go to him. Okay, he got big surprises. Big surprise. That's all he's waiting for. But you know, it's the ones that don't have anything bad ever happen to them. Ever. That's the ones I'd be worried about. Again, he says not everybody, not every single person is going to go through the trials, the severe trials and severe testing in their life. There are some who will never experience it at the level that others do. Okay, you might have little things, but not to the level that most of us, go through. He says, but that doesn't mean they're not mine, that I don't have a place for them. They'll be used in a special way. They'll be used in my special way. And yes, they are mine, but I've just got a different plan for them. So, that's what I gotta say about that. So, what I'm about to say now is, this is gonna open a whole new can of worms, okay? Sorry I got on that, but I don't know, it just came out. Okay, remember how I talked about how the Bible, Jesus said that the Bible has been in the hands of the enemy for all these thousands of years down here on earth, which it has been. And again, he has put, you know, the offspring of the fallen throughout time. He's watched them all the way up. He's put them in places here and there, you know, all the powerful places. He's put them in the churches, okay? Put them absolutely in the churches, okay? In a position where they would have authority to either, you know, remove, change, place things in the Word of God. Again, God allowed it. God has to allow it. Allows it. You know, I believe a lot too is for faith. Because even though that was changed, moved, manipulated, you know, they still, you know, his children still overcame it. And at the end, you know, they were still faithful through even all of that. Maybe it doesn't read now, that those certain pages doesn't read nice and smooth and easy, and doesn't have that flow of understanding that it once had before the fingers got in there to do the little tweaking. Okay, does that make sense? But when you get it, and even though certain things may not make total sense to you on that, you still stand strong in your faith. Okay, and it's the overcoming of all that, and at the end, no matter what, you still have that love and that faith, that belief in him, regardless of the moving of that. So where other people, you know, they stop right there. If it doesn't, they question it, and they're going to stop in their walk with the Lord, and they're in the growth and in him. If they can't understand a verse or a sentence or a paragraph or whatever it is, it gives them an excuse to put halt, okay? Halt on their walk, because they're stuck right there. They're stuck right at that point. Well, the Lord, you know, it's the ones who pass over that, you know, and don't get caught in that quicksand, and don't use that as an excuse, because they have to know. You know, it's the ones who can pass through that and say, well, you know, the Lord will tell me. He'll take care of it, whatever it is. He'll do it. I may not understand that, but I love him and I have faith in him, so I just know he'll work all that out. That's what's pleasing to him. So, but the Lord has allowed this manipulation. Okay, that's what he's done. Again, if you don't believe that, I don't even know what to say, because you're blind to what the enemy is allowed to do here on this earth, and what he has done, and what he continues to do, and what he wants to do. All right, and who he controls. So let's just say I'm gonna read this. Okay, let's just say in the book of Matthew, verse 24. Okay. Chapter 24, okay, talks about the destruction of the temple and signs of the end of times, right? All right. So I'm going to go down, and in 3, you know, Jesus sitting on the Mount of Olives, excuse me, and the disciples, you know, came to him privately, and they said, tell us, you know, when will this happen? What will be the signs of your coming, of the end of age, right? All right. So then in 4, he says, watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. You'll hear which, okay, first of all, has there been people who's come saying that they're the Messiah? Yes, there has been. Google it. Let me just tell you this. Google it. Google all, right now that we have in front of us, all these people who have such huge followings and they really believe that they are the Messiah. Okay? Some men who, I'm saying, just Google that. Okay? So, then it says, you will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Well, we've been having that. Wars and rumors of bigger wars constantly, right? Okay. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation. Kingdom against kingdom. There will be famine and earthquakes. Got that. In various places. And all these are just the beginning of the birth pains. Right? Got them. Got that. Understand. Got that. Then, number 9. Okay, and it says, then you will be handed over to be persecuted and to be put to death. And you will be hated by all nations because of me. At the time, many will turn away from faith and will betray and hate each other. I think we're going through that a lot right now. All of that. Just saying. Listen. Look. Okay? Remember what I'm telling you too is, if you think everything... First of all, if you're watching the main news stations, you're getting a fourth of what's really going on in the world. Okay? And that fourth is in their words. Okay? You have no idea. If you are out there only watching the main news stations, you're not even getting it. You're not even getting it at all. So this will come as a shock to you. It really will. But trust me, oh my gosh, we are so far further than what you could imagine if you're only watching those news stations, because they're not telling you anything. And there's so much more going on, so much more, and has been going on. So yes, so now it says people would turn away in faith, okay, and of course hate each other, and many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. Okay, absolutely. False prophets. He's not talking about the one false prophet. Okay, he's not saying the false prophet. He's saying many false prophets, and I think we pretty well have that too. Okay, pretty well have that. Because of the increase in wickedness, yeah, big increase, woo, big one. The love of most will grow cold. Yeah, look at the people who can pass by somebody getting beaten on the street. I mean, see that? How many? Oh, people just, oh well, it's just a normal everyday thing. They don't even stop to help. I mean, just really think of all the wickedness. And the love grows cold. Okay, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Right? Okay. Now, so when you see standing in the holy place the abomination of desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the housetop go down to take anything out of the house. Let no one in the field go back to get their cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that your flight will not take place in the winter on a Sabbath. For then there will be great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now, and never equaled again. Okay. If those days, okay, first of all, this last paragraph, when you see the abomination of desolation, I'm just saying, look at this with different eyes, okay? I'm not trying to share anything false or change anything. I'm just saying, okay, the abomination that causes desolation. All right, people have given so many of their reasons or thoughts on this and what it's going to be and what's not going to be. And, you know, I'm just putting this out there. Now, in coming March and April, we got some heavy stuff coming. Heavy stuff. That's just saying during that time, we've got somebody who's not supposed to be standing somewhere, standing there, that would absolutely cause an abomination, you know, of desolation. We really would. All right? Let's just say that. Let's just say we have somebody going to be standing, you know, I don't know, in the Holy of Holies. Let's say they're going to be shared and give access to everything holy that there is in that place. They're gonna be standing in it. Okay, let's just say that. All right. This, when he says, let no one in the field go back to get their cloak, then those, you know, who are in Judea flee to the mountains. All right. What about this is right here? What about if this is, I don't know, maybe the Psalm 83 war? Why I say that? I'm just putting this out there. All right. This, don't go get your cloak. Don't go back into the house. Don't do nothing. It's something right there that they have to leave. They have to leave. And what he's saying is, you're not going to have time, okay, to run back and take any of your goodies, okay? You're not. When I'm telling you to leave, I'm telling you to run. There's going to be a green gas. There's going to be a gas, a gas attack on Israel, okay? There's going to be. It's going to be. It's not going to. Buildings are still going to be standing, okay? Everything's still going to be standing. But the people. And what about, I'm just saying, what about the Lord here saying, this is what he's talking about. You don't know that. We didn't know that. Nobody knows that. Let's just say, but I'm telling you, there's going to be a green gas, invisible green gas released, say to Israel. The Lord's saying, listen to me. Don't you run in that house. Don't you go back and get anything. You know, don't nothing. You move. You move. You move. You move. And he sends them to the mountains to get out of that for safety. He sends them. He's telling them, run. Run. Don't take one thing. You run, run, run. And don't you stop until you get to that safe place. Okay? Now, pray that your flight does not take place in winter. Okay. Now, just saying. This happens. This gas. He's got them running, right? For they will be great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now. Okay? If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive. But for the sake of the elect of those days, they will be shortened. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Now, if the Lord did not cut those days short there, I'm not talking about the end of time. I'm not talking cutting the days of the Great Tribulation short. Okay? I'm talking about, let's just say Israel has this gas attack. Okay? If he's not going to cut those, whatever that war short, Psalm 83 war. See, that's a short one, right? It's a short. It's not like Ezekiel. It's short. Okay? It's short war. If he does not cut that short, there would be nobody left. Okay? So he's gonna stop that. You know, it says for the elect. Just giving you a different ear to this, all right? Now, so now you have the survivors. You have them in the mountains, right? They fled the city with all the gas, right? Because a lot of them just gonna die right then and there, you know, after the ones that don't get on in time, because they're gonna be so affected by it, right? And infected. Okay, so he says, at that time, if anyone says to you, look, here is the Messiah, there he is, do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform false signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you ahead of time. Okay. We're talking about the timing of all this. It's going to be flowing, which he's talking about this specific thing, okay? So we're talking about Israel right now. We're over in Israel, right? Now, you've had this. When the person is standing in the, you know, in the place that will cause the desolation, the abomination of desolation that causes desolation. Okay, let's just say it's the Antichrist. Let's just say it's the Antichrist. Okay, let's say he's in, I don't know, Jerusalem. Okay, let's say that they take him down into the, showing him everything, the Holy of Holies, you know, showing him all. So let's just say he's standing there, he's looking up, you know, it's total false here, right? And the Israelis, you know, they're just showing him everything. So proud of what they have, and they're sharing everything. And, you know, he inside, on the outside, he's got all this, but on the inside, he's mocking God. He's looking up like, ha, 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 look where I am, look where I am. Understand? That's what he's going to be doing. So let's just say that this is the abomination of desolation. Okay? Just saying. Have a different ear now. Okay, you understand the timing of this. I'm trying to give the timing of this. So he has gone now into the Holy of Holies, seeing everything that's precious to the Lord. Okay? Everything that the Israelites, you know, Jews have held so precious to their heart, you know, that has given them direct contact or direct line in their generations to the Father on the throne himself, to God himself. So now you have this, you have the enemy standing right in his special place. Okay, they're just, so now he's gonna be mocking God, like, look where I am. Now, so then remember, right after that is when they flee to the desert. Okay, because and then he's saying there are going to be people who claim that they're Messiah during that, you know, before that too. He says, don't listen to them. So then you got them running for their life to the wilderness. So they're out there and they're being hid. They're running because to get away from this gas. That's Israel's been attacked. Okay, Israel's been attacked. The Lord's saying, you've got to get out of there. So they run. But while they're in hiding, okay, because they're going to stay there, things are going to take place, okay? Because now, let's just say when the Antichrist comes out of the, let's say he comes out of the Holy of Holies, right? Let's just say maybe he would get shot in Israel. Okay, just saying. Maybe he would get shot in Israel. Maybe he would get his head wounded in Israel, right? Okay, so maybe he would, you know, be pronounced dead and lay dead for 3 days. Okay, but then all of a sudden, after 3 days, he's really not dead. Now, you know, before you found that very hard to believe. You really did. You found that kind of hard to believe. How can somebody miss being, you know? All right, now, I mean, how could somebody believe it? More chance. How could he die, then come back, and then they believe? All right, and I'm gonna tell you this. Think about the last couple of years. What do you hear on the news all the time? Is all these people who have died, and all of a sudden, you know, 3 days later or 2 days later, or whatever, they're sitting up in their caskets. they really weren't dead, you know, that their heartbeat, they were you know, they were declared dead because their heartbeat was so low nobody could read it, or for whatever happened. Again, Google that. Google it. Do you know how many people have woken up in the morgue, have woken up in the funeral home, have woken up in their caskets, and they're not dead after this period of time? And crazy. Again, see, it's been leading up. You know, it's been preparing. That all these have been released, and all this has been done so that way makes this believable. You understand? Makes this believable. Think about, I'm telling you, Google it again to see how many people were dead for days, and then all of a sudden, bam, come back to life. Or they said they didn't really come back to life, they just really weren't dead, you know. But their heartbeat was so low that nobody knew it. You'd be surprised. Again, Google it. So let's just say, okay, so this would make that believable. See how they've been putting these little breadcrumbs out there. So that would make that believable. Well, I could see that because look at so and so. You know, how many have been doing that? So then after 3 days, see now Satan's in him. Okay, I mean, so now that's good. Whatever guy that was before, you know, now what's happening is just like you know, everybody's been taught it's going to happen when the enemy, you know, literally becomes, you know, into the Antichrist. I'm just saying, see how this is working together here. So let's just say when he's coming out of the Holy of Holies, gets shot. For 3 days, everybody's mourning, the whole world's mourning, you know, everybody's all blah blah blah. And after 3 days, he's alive. He wasn't even really dead. Now they're going to say, you know, he was alive. Okay, well, but you're going to have people read the Bible, know the Bible, and have those false eyes and think he's the Messiah. See how that's going to come play? Now he's the Messiah. He's going to be so popular, so popular. He's going to be just making his way around everything. He's going to be just visiting everybody. Everybody's going to want to see him. Everybody's going to touch him. Everybody's going to want to know. Everybody, okay? Everybody, right? And you know, with this media, how we have it, you know, every day that'll be built up. And you have to understand who owns the media, who owns it, okay? Fallen, right? It's the bloodline of the fallen, okay? So all that's going to play in place. So then, the ones that are hidden in the wilderness, they're going to be hearing this, okay? They're going to be hearing, you know, of this Messiah that's come. You know, these prophets, the false prophet will be with him, right? So you have the false prophet, you have the Antichrist, who they're saying is the Messiah. You've got these ones still hidden in the wilderness, right? They're trying to draw out. Because I will tell you this, it will be after that time, when he's on his worldwide, you know, here I'm the Messiah thing, everybody's going to want to see him. Everybody is. And that's when he's going to have everybody do the blood, okay? Do the blood to find out what bloodline you're from. That's when he's going to have everybody do that. And they're going to be happy to do it because they can be close to him. You know, because they just watched this miracle. It's Messiah. Messiah's asking us to find out what tribe we're from. Can you believe it? Of course they're going to do this. They're going to do it. And what he's saying is, don't believe this. Don't believe this. Don't believe this person. Don't believe this person. Don't believe this, that this is the Messiah. Don't believe this is the, you know, don't believe this false prophet. Don't believe it. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Don't fall for it. You have to understand, he's going to want to pull everybody out. Everybody out. Okay? He wants that blood test. Again, hello, look in the past couple years how that's just accelerated. You know, find out what tribe you're from. Why do you think? Why? Why do you think that? He wants to know his tribe. Again. Let's wipe them out. Let's wipe them out. So let's just say, Lord's saying, let's just say it's a warning to them. Those are hidden. Don't come out. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Because he's going to get that blood tested, okay? And then the Antichrist is going to wipe those people out. So it's going to wipe them out. Okay, So then, okay. So then, so if anyone tells you, there he is out in the wilderness, do not go out. If they, he says, here he is in the inner rooms, don't believe it. For the lightning that comes from the east is visible even in the west. So will the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever there is a carcass, the vultures will gather. Okay? So, then, 29 says, immediately after the distress of those days. Okay? And I think some says even immediately after the tribulation of those days. I think maybe tribulation is in exchange for that. Well, that was we have been in part of a tribulation. I mean, if you go by that time, there would be a tribulation there. I'm not saying all the tribulation of the great. He's saying the tribulation of those days. That part. Understand? That part. Because this is not telling you every single part, that's going to happen. I mean, there's things that are in there that's going to happen that's not recorded in the Bible. Many things that will happen that's not recorded in the Bible. So there's going to be a lot of tribulation in that period of time. That's not described here. Okay, so immediately after the distress or tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Okay. Okay, so let's just say, this is the 3 days of darkness. Just saying. Let's just say this right here is the 3 days of darkness. Let's say that this comes into play. Okay? Just saying. What about that comes into play? The 3 days of darkness. You have the earthquake, right before that. And you've got mass things going on. Everything. Then, in 30, you have, then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Okay? And then all the peoples of the earth will mourn. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. In the clouds of heaven. They will see with power and great glory. And he will send the angels with a loud trumpet call. And they will gather his elect, okay, from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now, I'm just saying, okay, when it's talking about the sun being darkened, okay, let's say that's the 3 days of darkness, right? Okay, remember after the 3 days of darkness, it's when the 40 days, it's when the 40-day harvest starts. Okay, 3 days is when the bride goes up, gets changed, comes back. Into the 3 days is when the harvest starts. We know there's going to be so much going on, whether that earthquake comes before the 3 days or during it, but we know that 3 days there's going to be the veil moved, everything, so much is going to happen, right? We already know that what's going to be in that 3 days. And then after that, we know that when it starts, when these things start, it will be consistent. You won't catch your breath. It'll be like a train hitting a wall and then just smashing one car after another, one car after another, one car after another. that's some great tribulation, okay? Some great tribulation. And this is going to happen after the 3 days. So, it's going to happen. So, then there'll be that 40 days, that the bride comes back, is going to go out and harvest, right? In their glorified bodies. Can't be hurt, can't be harmed. We're going to do the things that when Jesus says you're going to do greater things than I did, that's when we're going to do them. All right? That's when we're going to do them, because we will have that infusion of the Spirit. Our bodies will be made from corruptible to incorruptible. So we will totally be, safe from harm, but that's when we do that 40-day harvest. Okay? Now, just saying. So, then after that 40-day harvest, okay, at the end of that 40-day harvest, everyone that the Lord has sent us back to, because there'll be specific people He sends each of us back to, and once, we save them or lead them to wherever they've got to go, and they're sealed, because then at the time they too will be sealed, right? They will be sealed. And then He's going to take them into a safe place. He'll move them to safety. All the ones that He sends us back for, they'll be moved to safety somewhere. I don't know where, but He'll keep them safe. Now, hang with me. So, because remember, at the end of that 40 days, I had said, that's when Jesus comes on the cloud. Okay, and that's when the rapture, as we've all been taught, okay, will happen, and those their bodies will be, in the blink of an eye. All right. Wouldn't that kind of make sense though, when He says here that He will send the angels, His angels, okay, with a loud trumpet call, and He will gather them, the elect, from the four winds, from, He will gather them all together, because it'll be all over the world, right? They'll be all over the world, because His bride's gonna come down and go to people all over the world. And what about if that call is, now He's gonna bring them all, and He's coming on the clouds, He's bringing them all together, that harvested, 40-day harvest, which is that's going to be the biggest one. Okay, it's going to be the biggest one. Understand? Are you with me? And that's when that'll happen. Could fit right there, right? That could fit right there. Okay, then He goes to, now learn the lesson of the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, that summer is near. That summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, that it is near, right at the door. Truly I tell you, this generation will surely not pass away till all of these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. So, I'm just saying. Now, what about if even the 29, let's say even 29, where He talks about the sun will be darkened, let's just say maybe that was moved down some, maybe that's the one that's not in order. I don't know, but I'm just saying, you have to understand this, because this is the section that keeps the division of people, of whether or not the bride, the church, goes through the whole tribulation. Okay, is that part right there. All right, it's that part. And because they couldn't rectify, they couldn't find placement for that running, don't go on the housetop, don't go back, all that, boom, what about what about somewhere in there is that there's going to be a gas attack. Okay, there's going to be a chemical gas let out in Israel. All right, so soon. What about if that's right there, and he's telling him to run? Don't go back. Run, run. He's not putting in there what it is, but he's warning him to run to the wilderness. And I don't know how many days or weeks or months go in between these times, but think of all the stuff that's going to happen in between that, and what would happen. I'm just saying, look at that, look at that. And because then he's saying, don't believe them. Don't believe them when they say the Messiah is here and the Messiah is there. Well, obviously, people are going to be saying that. Why are they going to be saying that? Why did he make it a point to tell them, those that ran, into the wilderness? Why? Why did he make a point to tell them, don't, when you're going to hear, don't believe you're going to hear that, of the prophets and the Messiah. See, he's trying to draw them out. You understand? First, he's trying to draw them out. When he comes back to life, he's doing all of his guest appearances all over the place. The Jews who haven't had their eyes open, they're going to be all about him. And he's going to he's going to throw in there, find out what tribe you're from, what bloodline you're from. In each meeting, every place he goes, they're going to be asked, there's going to be tables set up there. They're going to be asked to do this, and it's weeks before they get the results in. But he's going to go to different locations in different cities and different places. So all the people that are there during that time and get tested, are going to be family, are going to be, relatives. And so many of them obviously will be in the same tribe and are from the same blood tribe. You understand? So let's say it takes 4 to 6 weeks to get these test results back. They're all going to come back together. So you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of people getting the results back at the same time. Okay? Let's say they have a huge celebration. Okay? That night or whenever planned, at the end of this, when they get them all in, they're going to be celebrating. If they're from the tribe of Levi, whatever tribe they're from, they're going to be celebrating. They're all going to be together. They're all going to be together in groups, big groups, huge groups. Now, the enemy, he knows. He knows what town you live in. He knows how many of them you are, and he knows exactly what tribe you're from. He's going to send in the guns. He's going to send in the guns. He's going to kill them. He's going to kill them. That's what he's going to do. Just saying. Okay, again, common sense tells you that. Because when he visits all these people who want part of him, because he's the Messiah, and he's going to make himself accessible to people. Okay? And he's going to work that whole bloodline thing in, too. He's really going to play on that. It's huge, huge. Messiah's come back. Now let's see what tribe you're from. See? Bloodline. So when they come to see him, he's going to go. You have to understand, when he goes to see, it's huge, huge, towns of, and areas are going to be people who have the same bloodline. Okay? So when they find these results out, they're all going to come back to everybody in that area about the same time. And so they're going to know what bloodline they're from. They're going to have huge celebrations. Huge. Okay, he's got them. He knows how many's going to be there. He knows what bloodline they're from. And he knows they're all going to be right there celebrating. I mean, it's all going to be, and that's when he's going to send in, he's going to kill them. This is how he's going to try to get them. And that's what all it's for. I'm just saying, it's something to think about. Something to think about. Okay? Because people think that It's talking about the end. It's talking about the end. I think it's, I don't know. The Bible's talking about now, soon, soon, you know, and what's to come. Think of that. And that makes sense, because right after that, you know, after the tribulation of those days, after the distress of those days, think about what's going to happen when those 3 days darkness start, because that's when everything's going to start. Okay, then the 40-day harvest, there's going to be so much destruction out here, because lots going to happen. Okay, there's going to be massive distress here, massive distress. So so then at the end of the 40 days, here he comes on the clouds. Okay, and the rapture, as everybody, you know, has thought of it, is going to happen. And those that we've come back to seal, you know, with God's seal, his children, they're going to be all over the world. So they're literally going to be called from all parts of the world. So what about if that time they're called and back and changed and taken? You understand? Makes a lot of sense to me. Makes a lot of sense to me. And through what's going to happen through that time. You know, it makes a lot of sense to me. See, that's the area I'm talking about that they were tweaking. That's that area. There's some tweaking in it. Okay? It's a confusing area. It's a very confusing area. But a lot's going to happen in that time. So, a lot is going to happen in that chapter and those verses I just read. That holds so much. There's a lot of destruction that's going to happen during that time. But it's kind of hidden. It's kind of hidden. You know? It is. It's going to be a lot. It's been kind of hidden. Kind of tweaked a little bit. Okay? So, you know, but about the day and the hour, you know, no man knows. Not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, nor the Father, as it was in the days of Noah. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking and marrying. Okay, see? So, Matthew 24:36, we know he's talking about now. So it doesn't make sense. We know he's talking about now. Because first of all, if this verse was for the end of the tribulation, okay, if this verse was for the end, like a lot of people think it is, trust me, nobody's going to be marrying as normal, nobody's going to be eating as normal, and nobody's going to be drinking as normal. Okay, because nothing will be normal about those days. So that's how you know this isn't at the end, because there's nothing normal. So, as it was in the day of Noah, so it will be in the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 will be in the field, 1 will be taken, and the other left. The women will be grinding, you know, with a hand mill. 1 will be taken, 1 will be left. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. But understand this, the owner of their house had known at what time of the night the thief was coming, you know, and it goes on. So then it goes on with that. But see how it jumps? See how it jumps? There's a part. This is what causes the conflict, okay, between the Christians of when he's talking about this. It is Matthew 24, all the way from, you know, it's that when you see this, it goes from the abomination that causes desolation, then it goes to if those days had not been cut short. So people are thinking, well, that's got to be at the end, because he's saying if this tribulation period, all this, if these 7 years weren't cut short, then boy, nobody'd be left. That's because that's what everybody thinks. But why is it here? Why is it put here? But then he talks about, the day of the hour which no man knows. It's talking about, it can't be talking about the end. It can't. But yet you can't make sense of it to fit it to sooner. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? This whole chapter in these, it starts to flow and then it stops, and it makes you think it's talking about the end, but then it can't be, because something else in there makes it talk about now. See how this has been? It's confusing. It's divided Christians. Okay, it's divided them, and this has just been taught all the way down, just like this. Okay, what I'm saying is, this is the area, of all areas too, of all teaching, it's this area, really. See, it doesn't go smooth. It doesn't. It goes from back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Okay, but maybe if you read it, understand it a different way, understand what's happening through there, the closer time gets to it, the more understanding is released, the more the mysteries Jesus is releasing. I'll tell you that. More the sealed words, more the mysteries are being released. Okay? So, I'm just saying, read this with that in mind. With that in mind. Okay? Because Israel is going to be hit by this green gas. Okay? Big deception going on. Big deception. So, it's going to hit them. They're not going to know it. They're not going to know it. But no buildings are going to be bombed the first time. Okay? The first attack is going to be a chemical attack. It's going to be this quiet, silent, invisible green gas. So, Lord's warn everybody, run. Don't go back in your house. Don't go for nothing. Run, 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 run. It makes sense? Absolutely makes sense. And so, I don't know. Got a lot going on. And so if you read again 29, immediately after the distress of those days, okay, be distress. Let's say Israel now has had this chemical attack on them. Okay, that's chemical attack. That's a big distress. Then the sun will be darkened. So then that happens. Let's say that's when the 3 days comes. 3 days darkness comes. Okay? So during 29, you have the 3 days of darkness, you have this earthquake, but you have the cosmic disturbance. Okay? Because that's all going to happen during that time. All right? Then you have this 40 days after that, going to be just that harvest. Okay? So then there's going to be big distress during that time. During that time, in the 3 days of darkness and that 40 days, you're going to have big distress. Huge. So then, next, then there will appear the sign of the Son of Man in the sky coming in the clouds. Doesn't that flow? That flow kind of good? Because we know at the end of those 40 days, that's when he's coming. And I told you guys this months ago, right? I mean, so, it's what it is. Anyway, I'm just saying, don't have to believe me. Don't have to believe a word I'm saying. I'm just saying, read it with those eyes. See if it doesn't make sense to you. See if it doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. I don't have all the answers. I don't. But I know Matthew 24 tweaks there. I know that. So, just saying. I know I'll get comments on this. I know it. They're going to come out of the woodwork. They're going to just be throwing scripture at me left and right. I know it. Okay, so please, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I totally understand it, okay? I get it. Okay? just hold your breath. I mean, you know what I mean? Just don't put them down there, because I'm probably going to delete them out. And I'm saying you don't have to believe me. I'm just saying, understand, if the stop and go of this whole chapter, and this whole chapter of how it's caused such debate and conflict, because it doesn't read smoothly. It doesn't, because nobody understood it. Nobody understood it. But we're there now, okay? We're there now. We need to understand it. We need to understand it. You know, I'm just going by the things that we know is going to happen. And again, for you 3 days of darkness doubters, 3 days of darkness always, we're in the biggest time in history. Of course there's going to be 3 days. Follows patterns. Follows patterns. The 3 days of darkness represent Jesus in the tomb. Okay? It represents the whole, him, the 3 days in the tomb, the 40 days after the 3 days of darkness. Remember, 3 days of darkness, there's always change, deliverance, and promise, right? Always. And exactly what these 3 days will be. There'll be change, deliverance, and promise is what there's going to be. Then, after Jesus, his resurrection, what did he do? He walked for 40 days, right? Right? Yes, he did. And walked with him were many of the who had already passed before him, that he unlocked out of Sheol, right? Before they too ascended to heaven. They walked on the earth with him for 40 days and 40 nights. It's the same thing, same pattern. 3 days of darkness, but that 40 days is going to be the harvest. It's going to be a big harvest. There's going to be more, but I mean, that's a big one. It's the big one. And then he will continue, after that. But that's when, at the end of that 40 days, that's when the rapture happens, like everybody has been taught forever. And then after that, he will send the church and his bride back to help throughout that time, until the end. He will do it. Okay, well, can't wait to see all of the this is a real throw everybody in a tizzy on this one. I know it. Just saying, I'm just putting this out there. Just putting this out there. Because these things are going to happen. So they're going to happen soon. So just make a whole lot of sense right there. Because 24, it's a division part with Christians. Okay? Because they have to place it somewhere. They have to understand it somehow. Because of how it doesn't go smoothly together. It doesn't flow, and so, but there has to be teaching on it, because one verse tells you this, but yet another verse tells you that, and they're trying to make them fit. The thing is, they've been tweaked, they've been manipulated, moved, so they're never going to fit. Never going to fit. Never. So you got to understand that. So I'm just saying, if that's now, okay, let's just say maybe that's how it's going to go. If it's now, okay? That's all I'm saying. Think about it. That's all I'm saying. Ears are open. That's all I'm saying. Okay, well, see you soon. Bye.